is going to leave office. He wasn't going to barricade himself in and surround himself with a bunch of Republicans who are going to take a bullet for him. Same people yesterday. Our nation's institutions held. Who was the one saying they weren't going to hold? You. Spent 4 years calling him a fascist and a Nazi and a Hitler, to say nothing of a racist and a sexist. I told you months ago when I took philosophy, I recall the professor saying, we were talking about social justice. If you were an OBGYN and you delivered a baby and that baby was Adolf Hitler and you knew then what was going to happen, that he was going to be a principal figure in a war that resulted in the deaths of 50 million human beings, would you strangle him in the grave? And I think everybody said yes. One person versus 50 million? Okay, so you get prosecuted for murder. But 50 million human beings would be alive. Following that same idea, you call Donald Trump a Hitler and a Nazi, and you want me not to believe that you would fabricate, manipulate, engage in fraud in order to get this person out? Were you serious when you call him a fascist? Were you serious when you call him a Nazi? Were you serious when you likened him to Hitler? Then why should we believe that you would not commit even criminal acts to prevent this person from remaining in office? Hillary Clinton told Joe Biden under no circumstances should he concede. For 4 years, Hillary and other Democrats, including John Lewis, the respected member of the House, also known as Good Trouble, the late John Lewis, he, along with 25% of the Democratic delegation, boycotted Donald Trump's inaugural. He, along with other Democrats, never attended a single one of Trump's State of the Union speeches. He called him fraudulent and a racist last year. And yet you want us to believe that you would not engage in any kind of underhanded tactics in order to keep him out of office for another 4 years. Really? You're telling me if the shoe were on the other foot, and if there were 500 affidavits, Donald Trump said 1,000, I'm not sure what the number is, but certainly 500, signed affidavits under penalty of perjury from a bunch of people, election workers, poll watchers, voters, others saying that they have observed, participated in, witnessed voter fraud, voter irregularity. You're telling us you would ignore this? You're telling us you would ignore people like Jesse Binnall, the Republican attorney who talked about Nevada?
Over 42,000 people voted more than once. Our experts were able to make this determination by reviewing the list of actual voters and comparing it to other voters with the same name, address, and date of birth. This method was also able to catch people using different variations of their first name, such as William and Bill, and individuals who were registered both under a married name and a maiden name. At least 1,500 dead people are recorded as voting, as shown by comparing the list of male voters with the Social Security death records. More than 19,000 people voted even though they didn't live in Nevada. This does not include military voters or students. These voters were identified by comparing the list of voters with the U.S. Postal Service's National Change of Address database, among other sources. About 8,000 people voted from non-existent addresses. Here we cross-reference voters with the Coding Accuracy Support System, which allowed our experts to identify undeliverable addresses.